Hello, and welcome to episode 95 of Gondor Calls for Ale, a Middle-earth strategy battle games podcast. I am your host, Sam Gallagher, and with me in this episode is my brother Ben.
Hello, listeners and viewers. Thank you for joining us for yet another episode. 95, Sam. That's very exciting.
Yeah, almost at that 100, and Ben, almost at the close of a year. So, before we get into, which is what I was about to do, what this episode is about, let's get into everyone's favorite segment of Gondor Calls for Ale, which is, of course, the ale. So what are you drinking for this festive episode?
Well, for this festive episode, Sam, I have myself an unexpected lager. As Bilbo Baggins said to Frodo, it's a dangerous business, Frodo, opening up one of these beers. You crack it open, and if you don't keep your head, there's no telling where you might get swept off to.
Very good.
And what about you, Sam? What are you drinking for this festive episode?
Well, Ben, I am once again cracking open a Mithreindeer, the favored beer of the little-known Red Wizard.
Very good, very good.
Yes. So, Ben, do you want to tell the listener, tell the viewer what it's all about today?
Yeah, well, this is going to be another one of those close of the year episodes that Sam and I so enjoy doing, and hope that you enjoy listening to, because we're going to keep on doing them. This is number 4, an unexpected ramblings, I think, is what Sam's titling it, and we're going to be looking back at both a year in review for the podcast and our YouTube channel, probably. Which is some very exciting stuff. We're going to be looking back. We've had about a whole year of the new edition, so we'll talk a little bit about that. And we're going to go over our hobby goals, our resolutions from the previous year, see how we did, how we fared with that, and then set ourselves some new ones for the coming year. I missed anything, Sam?
Yeah. Just, this is our standard end of the year fare. This is, of course, not yet a new year, so despite the title, though I guess it's no longer a new year, new rambling. But yeah, it's, the last episode of 2025, so I think appropriate to do a bit of a retrospective, both of the year, of our hobby journey, as Ben said, of how the state of the game, how we're feeling, thinking about it, and as we always do, well, have been doing since we've started this podcast, looking at those goals we set ourselves at the beginning of the year or the end of the previous year, seeing how successful we were in achieving those, and set ourselves some new ones, and just generally ramble through an episode, hence the name.
That's right.
Alas, my naming scheme didn't come to fruition until I think about the second one. Or maybe it was even the third one, because if we were truly thinking about it, because this is the 4th time we've done this, it would have been the first New Year rambling episode would have been the Fellowship of the Rambling, and then we would have had the 2 ramblings, and then I think we definitely had the Return of the Rambling, and now we're going through the Hobbit trilogy, so we've got an Unexpected Rambling, then we'll get into the Desolation of the Rambling, the Battle of the 5 Ramblings.
We'll have to get some guests on for that one.
Yeah, and then perhaps War of the Rambling, and
who knows, maybe by ramblings.
Yeah, maybe by then we will have the Hunt for the Rambling. So, plenty, and then after that, the podcast has to end. That's it. That will be the final episode. Just kidding. So that is what is going on. That is the plan.
We already managed to ramble even in the opening of the episode.
It wouldn't be a rambling episode with me if it wasn't.
Good stuff.
The first 4 minutes of it. Pointless. But I think, Ben, before we do any of that, before we get into the true meat and potatoes of the episode, I think is a good time to say thank you to our Patreons. We really, really appreciate another year's worth of Patreon support. We had plenty of new Patreons join and some old ones stick it through, so we really, really appreciate that. If you want to support Gondor Calls for Ale in a financial way, enable us to make these dumb episodes and plenty of battle reports, then please consider checking out our Patreon. There's a link in the description of wherever you're listening to or watching this episode. There are a range of tiers. You get some rewards, but most importantly, you get to contribute to the spreading of the ale across the internet.
That's right, yeah. Really appreciate you guys. It would be hard to be 4 years in, or 4 New Years in, um, and still going without you guys. So
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
really do appreciate you.
And a big thanks, of course, for the second year of our official sponsor, the Baron of Dice, the creator of premium wargaming dice, Ben. Beautiful hand swirled resin with no microbubbles that have the Gondor Calls for Ale guaranteed to roll sixes at least some of the time. If you want to get some of those dice to match your army, or perhaps you've got a new army for the new year that needs some new dice, then you can look in the description of this episode. There's a link and a promo code that gets you a nice discount on some of those dice, and it helps us out and helps the Baron out. So we want to say again, thank you to the Baron of Dice, and thank you to our Patreons, and thank you to anyone who's just viewing, listening, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and likes these videos, or I guess dislikes them. We're long past the point of having a channel with 100% so my little heart is sad, but engagement
Any
is
engagement, good engagement, right, Sam?
Yeah. Yes. So there we go. We've rambled a little bit more. We've done our plugs. We've done our sponsorship message, and now I think we can move along home, as they say, Ben. In the greatest
next
game
topic, Sam, which is.
Oh, I was giving you the opportunity to tell us, Ben. I think let's start out with a less, to me or to us, and maybe the listeners, but maybe more interesting to the listeners. I was going to say a less interesting topic, which is the game itself, the game that we all play. Well, many of us play. That is, of course, the Middle Earth strategy battle game. Still somehow calling it the new edition. It is no longer that new.
The shine's worn off a little bit.
It is still edition 2. As you said in the intro, we've had a year of the rules and a year. Actually, by the time this is out, it's been over a year, but we've been over a year of the rules, over the year of the Armies of the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings and War of the Rohirrim. Obviously, a caveat here is that it's about 6 months, maybe a little bit more, of Match Play Guide and the Armies of Middle Earth. But
yeah,
Ben,
it really felt like they completed the game. It felt like we had half a game for a little bit there.
I think that's worth talking about. Is it now does feel like a full game? So I guess before I just plow on into my thoughts and feelings, Ben, how are you feeling about how the game is? Any big standouts from?
I think generally it's in a great place. I think most army lists are playable at the competitive level, which is cool. Some of them are definitely not good, but I think you can take even those not very good ones to an event and do okay with them, which I think is a cool place for the game. I think there's like a lot of lists that are in that like A tier range, which is very exciting to have a wide variety of different things to see at the top tables. I think there are a little bit unfortunate on that side. There are a handful that are maybe a little overtuned, maybe 1, 2, or 3 of them. I think we can all think of some examples of lists in our local metas that just show up and do really, really well every time. But there's not that many of them, so I think the game's in a pretty cool place, pretty exciting place. I'm really interested to see what comes of the coming FAQ this February. But I have been thoroughly enjoying the variety of the scenarios and the scale of the points in the scenarios. 20 victory points to score for. I find a lot more of my games we're both scoring a good number of victory points, like 6, 7 victory points. And you might lose with 6 or 7 victory points, but still very exciting to be able to get that many points on the board and lose a game.
Any child listening has just gone crazy. And I'm going to have to explain that to Ben later. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I got it. I heard what I said. It took me a second. Yep.
I just found a bit of fluff attached to me. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I think that was the biggest thing, right? When we just had the first 3 books, the rules and the 2 army books, it was all very exciting. I know a lot of people were really bummed and missing profiles, and I get that. I think the people who were like, well, I only have this one army and now I can't play. do question the nature of that. Like, you're either a very different person for the majority of the people who play this game, or you didn't actually play the game that much. You know, if you're like, nope, I only played
Khazad-dûm,
Slings or Khazad-dûm, right? That was it. It's like this is then, if you're really into wargaming, this is probably not your main game, and it's fair enough to this point to not be able to play your army, or you're like, you play one game and you're like, I have one army and that's all I do, and I went to every single event with it, which I think is probably less common than that. But so I understand that was a shame for a while, but having only those 3 scenarios really, six, really was pretty. I got bored pretty fast. I went to several events in the beginning and just was kind of like, it's just going to be the same. And then obviously the nature of that meant that some armies were way better because they're like, oh, I do these things really efficiently, and people lost their minds about so many of their armies not having banner victory, like not being able to take banners anymore because like half of the scenarios had banner VPs, and then we suddenly got a match play guide that went from 6 to 24 scenarios, so added 18, and like, some of them still do have banner points, but it wasn't the like doom and gloom of people being like, but my Numenorians can't have a banner and therefore are terrible and it's like, fair enough if 50% or if the 50% chance that you're going to get a scenario that you're just like losing 2 points out on immediately, I kind of understand that, but the slow drip release made for a really weird, a really weird thing where it's just like
it felt like it was about 3 months late, like 3 months of 6 scenarios in one book or 2 books or whatever it was. 3 books, I guess. The rules and the 2 army books would have been fine, but then we had like 6 months of it. It was like, okay, Games Workshop, where's the rest of the game?
I mean, I think there was a logistical issue.
Oh, sure.
And if it's a shipping thing, if it's out of their control, like, that's fine. But anyone who's sitting there thinking that they were, cackling trying to kill Middle Earth, like, doesn't know how a company works, and it's the same kind of I don't know. I am happily a fan of Games Workshop, and I'm okay with that. I wish there were some different choices were made, but I'm also just like, if you think that they're trying to get you or whatever, like, I promise you they don't care that much.
No.
Like, whether you love it or hate it, they're not going to change, I guess, is the thing. And so there's not much point in, like, bemoaning the fact. But yeah, so it's interesting that you say you think the game is in a good place. I think it probably is. I think I am not happy with the place it's in. I think it's always been a game. I think it's essentially a game that after the film stopped coming out was kept alive by a competitive community, and now it's a very, very competitive game.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the armies that people will say are top tier or are like unfair or whatever are because of the way people build those armies and or play them. And so I would argue that it's the players, not the game, that's the problem.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, we could talk about like say I'm a biggest Gwaihir fan. I love him. He's the king of the birds. I think he's super, super cool. I just want to play Gwaihir. And we can all agree that as a profile,
sure,
he's a little. He could use a little retuning.
Sure, and that's
then
fine.
There are definitely people who are like, oh, he's a bargain profile. I'm taking him every time because
right. And that's the thing is, I know one person who's like played Eagles in the previous edition because he likes fucking Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, and then Gwaihir started popping up a bunch last edition because he was also very good and could be allied in about 1 million different armies. And now he's even more prevalent because he's absurd and undercosted. So, like, sure, I agree. I do agree. I'm not saying that the game is perfect. I just also think that a lot of the issues of people bringing, like, fucking 10 Crebain, I'm just like, you don't have to. You can play that army without 10 Crebain, anyway. So,
sure. A
and
little
it's
bit of self-policing, perhaps.
Yeah. I'm just like, if you don't want to like be the change you want to see, I guess is my point about it. But so I find I have found, like I said, I had a great time at events at the beginning of the year, got bored with the lack of scenarios. A bunch of the new scenarios came out, had a great time going to events for a little while, and now I'm like, and maybe it's just the area I'm in, but I'm just like, all I see are the same handful of people winning with the same handful of lists. And, I don't know. So I guess to be fair, I'm disenchanted with the community, and I think there's or not the community, with the state of the game.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I think, so we can say that there are, like, a quite easy fix would just be like, don't take Gua here, he's overcut, he's too good. Or if you're going to take him, make sure that you're bringing something rubbish with him to balance out your list, or something. But, like, outside of that, I guess it'd be nice, which is a community thing, and sort of difficult to encourage in players. It would be cool to see a little balancing from Games Workshop, I guess, and sort of to help that along.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we will get that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll get that. So, well, I think we'll probably get less than we want.
Half as much as we deserve, but more than half as much as we want, or something like that.
I mean, that is the other point, right? Is, we took away the ally system because people fucking abused the ally system. Like, you can make the argument that they were shifting towards like legendary legions anyway, but there was so much. You show up at an event and here are all the Lord of the Rings armies out, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
I have to say that's actually one of I really, really do like that change.
Yeah.
The new edition. As a general rule, I really like the structure of the army lists. There are some that I feel it would be nice to be able to take such and such, or like, I missed my Minas Tirith captain on a horse, and there are definitely things like that. Like, where are my shields on some spear guys? I like the closing of the doors for some conversions is a bit sad to see go, but as a general rule, I have to say I'm really happy with the way the army lists. And partly because when you show up to an event, all the armies tend to be pretty thematic, which is all cool. It just feels good to see. I don't know, something about it just feels good.
No, I mean, I definitely agree. I think it's really cool. I think as you said, I'm like, oh man, I love playing Burda's Horde. I really wish I could take werewolves because I want a reason to like play and own some buy some werewolves, or like I wish I could put them in a different army because I'm not that excited to play Host of the Witch King. And like, or the wolf pack, and I'm like, what I really want is to add like 2 werewolves, maybe 3 to a standard army and get some utility out of them, and that would be super fun. And then I own these cool new models. So I do miss that aspect of it, but I think overall it has been a positive change in my mind. And I think the last thing I want to say on this topic, which is, it was a contentious thing to bring up because I think we both have very different feelings about it, and I'm certainly more willing to blame people than you are. So, but I don't think this will happen at all, but I do hope that in the next FAQ we get some things buffed rather than things just taken away.
It's a bit sad when Games Workshop just whack stuff with the nerf hammer. And it's the other end of balancing, which is to let's make Imrahil 30 points cheaper or something.
Yeah, and it's just, I look at the armies that are probably going to get hit, right? And you're like, well, if people get their wish list of stuff, Crebain are going to get nerfed, Grima's going to get nerfed, and then I'm like, I look at Isengard, and I'm just like, well, like, I guess it's Ugluk Scouts or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And while I don't necessarily think that Army of the White Hand is particularly fun, as a big fan of Isengard, I'm like, well, make my Urkai tin cans better, please. If you're going to take if you're going to take away 2 army options for me, then improve this one. And I don't think that'll happen, but it would be cool to see.
Yeah, it would. Certainly would.
All right. Well, enough of that negativity and stuff, but fun to have a new edition. Fun to have.
How long before we stop calling it the new edition? You mentioned this at the beginning of the segment.
I know.
I mean, you just did it, right? Like, how long before it's not the new edition anymore? At least another year?
I think it's its unofficial name anyway, so...
Is the new edition, that's just its name?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the other thing that's worth talking about that came out this year is we got the first first journal, Middle
Yeah.
Earth journal. I'm not sure what they're officially calling them, which I did a Patreon review episode of. If you're interested and want to check that out, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Uh,
A little
I
disappointing in that there were no new rules, but I wasn't really expecting there to be new rules, so I wasn't
no,
super disappointed.
they pretty blatantly they said there wasn't going to be,
Yeah.
which as somebody who likes likes playing the game and wants to try new things pretty constantly, I agree. I was like, oh man, I would have loved that. But I saw a couple people commenting on posts about it, saying like, oh, finally, like I don't have to buy another $60 book just so I can have the extra
The one profile that I want.
yeah.
And they can like make your own terrain bits out of like popsicle sticks and wet wipes for the hill tribes boss, and like how to convert the Mumakil really hit a nostalgia button for me, just because it reminded me of those old White Dwarfs back in the day.
Yeah,
that felt very
that was super cool. I'm looking forward to the next one. A totally unexpected one. A new awesome Shelob. It will be interesting to see. I really think she might be on a bigger base, so it'll be interesting to see if there's an update in there. I think it looks like she might be on an 80mm base. So that'll be interesting to see. I like the sound of the articles about how to like make sewers under Osgiliath, and I think there were some amount of rules for or like how to make the spider caves and stuff. I think it'd be really cool to do a whole board like that and do some really funny
Space Hulk with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, well, Zone Mortalis is perhaps a little more accurate.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, so that'll be interesting. I'll be curious to see how that continues on. I hope that we keep getting these journals. I would have hoped for a little more frequently on them, given that they're only like little 30-page paperbacks. But if we get a couple of those a year and one big supplement every other year or every year would be great, where it's a hardback full 100-odd page book with some new rules and stuff. That would be super cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. It'd also be neat to see them keep introducing new scenarios, even if they do the thing like they do with their other games, where they cycle out some like, okay, we're done with these 6. Here's another 6.
Yeah, that would be super cool, especially because there's no reason to. It's not like it invalidates them in any other way, It's just like here's the seasonal ones. The other thing I was going to say while we're on new stuff, Ben, we didn't plan for this at all, so I'm going to spring this on you. What is your favorite model they've released this year?
Easy, Bog.
Okay.
I mean, I guess we're going to get into the hobby bit coming up here, but I so much enjoyed painting Bog. Really fun model to paint. I mean, don't get me wrong, the new Hill Tribes and the new Warriors of the Rohirrim have to be up there as well, because they're pretty sweet. But I gotta say, it's got to be new Bog. No more silly stretch wog. No more silly goofy oval base. No more looking back over his shoulder while he charges into combat.
Yeah.
What about you? Got a favorite model of the year?
I think it's probably the Catapult Troll, Ben.
I
think the Catapult
Troll nice.
Awesome looking. It's absolutely massive. I love it. And yeah, I think it's a super cool big centerpiece model. I like that it is just proves that it's not a pay-to-win game, despite what other people might say.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is, I think, the thing I'm hopeful for in the February FAQ, that we get some clarification around the Catapult Troll. I don't expect it should get a buff. I don't expect it to, but I at least want to know, can it walk over that tiny little rock? Can it move into any kind of terrain? Because it needs to be able to be on that pie plate base. So yeah, I think Catapult Troll for me. So a good year for Gundabad. I mean, Theodred, also awesome model. All of them.
I mean, not that Rohan doesn't have 1,000 cool hero models, but we've got 1,000 cool more ones. I mean, the Hera, Daughter of Helm model is sick.
Yeah,
and I've assembled her, but not painted her yet. But looking forward to doing that.
Yeah, plenty of very cool stuff. I think Leaf is also, especially the foot version, is also a very cool model.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, we talked for a little. We rambled perhaps a little while about new edition. Congratulations if you've made it through Sam being annoyed for the last 20 minutes. And now we
Right,
can
again,
get...
talking about shiny new toys, and it all passes on.
That's true. That's true. So Ben, I don't know. What do you wanna brave? What do you wanna talk
Let's
about
talk. I
next?
mean, we've been looking at a year in review. We've been talking about cool things. Let's take a look at the podcast. A year of Gondor Calls for another year of Gondor Calls for Ale as a podcast, but also 6 months now of Gondor Calls for Ale releasing battle reports, which is
Yeah.
for us, and hopefully for you, dear viewer and listener, very very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been an absolutely great year for Gondor Calls for Ale. We've kept it up with an episode every 2 weeks. We had a fair amount of non-tournament reviewy episodes. I think we had a bit of a lull there in the middle where there either weren't that many events or we had, needed a break or weren't getting to them.
Bit of both, bit of all of the
Yeah.
above.
We're now absolutely stacking them up because Ben's gone to every single event possible in Canada.
True, I haven't missed one yet.
So we've got plenty to still record about. And yeah, I think the 95 episodes will crack the 100 next year, chasing down some of those other longer established podcasts with our consistency.
That's right. That's right.
Quantity has a quality all of its own, Ben.
Yeah, I was going to go with Very Dangerous Over Short Distances or Turtle in
Well,
the Hair or something. I don't really know.
It's been long distances, I think, at this point.
Yeah,
we're
fair enough.
plowing ahead. And then, of course, the battle reports, absolutely awesome to start getting those out.
I mean, it sort of ties back into your disillusionment a little bit and the lull of us attending events, because there was I spent the summer down in Baltimore, and Sam and I, instead of sort of going to Lord of the Rings events and going to tournaments, were playing each other in the basement for these battle reports, and in a way it sort of replaced for us the attending events, which has been super exciting because we grew up together, right? Like we grew up playing tabletop war games together. And with our friends, we've played 1,000 tabletop war games against each other, and it's cool to be in our 30s and discovering a new joy for doing that.
Yeah, and I think that's probably partially where some of it comes from. Is I go to an event, and at the end of the day, win or lose, I'm kind of like, I probably just would have had more fun if we'd filmed 2 games.
Right.
We get to pick the matchups we want to play. We get to make them themed. We get to try and balance the armies. Because of course
we get to make poor tactical choices and have fun doing it.
Yeah. And not even necessarily poor tactical choices, but the thematic ones that make sense, or the funny ones that also aren't a terrible idea, but might be a bit of a long shot, but it doesn't feel like it matters as much because we're both playing in the same way, not one of us being like, oh, that's a weird choice, and now I'm just going to put the boot in.
Right.
Right.
So. An opening, you say?
Right, exactly. So yeah, that's been really, really fun. Hopefully you guys can tell how much fun we're having, and you guys also enjoy it. I certainly places we can improve, lessons we've learned. I think our filming has gotten better. All right. Over the course of, I think we're now up to 21 battle reports released, or we will be next week. There's stuff that people ask about, like the dice tray and a dice cam and stuff, and some amount of that is technical and logistical, inefficient, or basically, what am I trying to say? It's both. We need another decent camera, and it just adds a level of complication. I edit each of our battle reports, and it takes me a couple hours. And I think if we added in another stream of the dice cam, another video.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we ought to try one with just a dice tray sitting on the table that we move around, which
it just
breaks
looks
the immersion a little bit for us.
Yeah.
But I could also see as a viewer it just being nice to be able to see the dice with every roll.
I certainly see why people want it, and I don't think it's, I'm not absolutely not. I just haven't come up with a solution that I like how it looks. I think the only way to do it is to shrink the size of, if this is the size of the video on your screen, is to shrink it down by a bit, have a bar along the side with the dice camera there, but then it just it's just a level of additional complication that like I have a full-time job. Now I'm editing something every week, whether it's a battle report or a podcast episode. It just becomes quite a lot, and so keeping it fairly simple is easier for now. If of course you truly want to see a dice cam and want to flood to our Patreon so I can do it full time, then I'll give you a dice cam. But yeah, no, I think it's been really cool, and I think the best thing about it for me, outside of playing the dumb games, is the reception we've had.
Yes. As an audience, you guys have been fantastic. We really, really appreciate you guys. Positive feedback, interaction from the community. Even like when we get rules wrong, people are like so quick. Like I think you went to a tournament and were like, "Oh, wait a minute. Let me go scroll." We did it. We played one of these rules wrongs in our battle report. Someone in our community corrected us on the rules, and then Sam was in mid-game, went back and checked the comments during his opponent's turn, and you had left the page number for him to then show his opponent. Actually, you do have to be on the table to use Master of like Mighty Hero. It doesn't say it under Mighty Hero. It's in this weird section under Special Rules. Yeah. So like as a community, really, really, really fantastic reception for the episode.
Yeah, I mean, and it's as we've said with doing the podcast for years now. It's we enjoy doing it, and probably if nobody listened, we would continue to do it. And same thing, if nobody watched, we would probably continue to release battle reports.
Yeah,
but it definitely feels really great having people respond in a positive way and seem to genuinely enjoy what we're doing. I mean, I'm very proud of the content and the videos that we're putting out, and it seems that other people are getting enjoyment out of it, which makes me want to do more of them. I'm glad
easier to maintain that momentum with the positive feedback as well.
Yeah, and I'm glad Ben's having a great time in Canada and playing all these games. But like, I wish you were closer and we could do a video every week. Like, that was so cool. Yeah. And the first one we released was in end of June, and we had under 200 subscribers, and we're now at like 1,300 something subscribers. So people seem to definitely been enjoying that. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah, good year for the episode and for the show, and that we've been enjoying it, but I think we have you guys to thank for that. So thank you again. We said it at the beginning of the episode, but thank you.
All right, Ben, I'm gonna spring on another unplanned for question. What is being your favorite battle report we've released this year?
Oh, we've already released, because I can pick one, but it's not been released yet.
I was thinking the same thing, so I assume.
You're talking about Contest of Champions, right?
Yeah.
So fun. Right, battle reports that we have released been the favorite one. It's probably one of the ones we've done with Faramir and Denethor and the Grand Army of the South. I think you had the Abacan Merchant Guard, and we were doing Escort the Wounded. That scenario is now branded in my brain as Escort the Prisoners, because Sam was bringing his debtors back to the Abacan Merchant King. And I think that's where we had Faramir got 3 kills in his heroic combat, and one of us was immediately like, Boromir would have gone 4.
Yeah.
I think that one was very silly and quite a lot of fun. Tearing up laughing just thinking about it.
Yeah.
What about you? You got a favorite episode that we've released? But aside, if you get to it and you haven't seen the Contest of Champions episode that we've just recorded a couple of days ago, when it gets out, that's going to pip it over.
Yeah, that's definitely a really good one. I think it's probably the return of Glob fighting the Necromance. Any game with Glob, I have a great time, because it's very stupid, and I like telling the tale of Glob's search for freedom for his people. So I enjoy a good Glob game. I had a lot of fun filming and playing both of the games we played at Nova this year. It was great.
That was cool.
That was a lot of fun. But yeah, any of the ones where we do dumb, or even our 1,000 subscriber episode where we played 1,000 points.
Oh, that was a silly game, 1,000 points.
The Duda Dane, the only ranger who survived.
Yeah,
was
that
yeah.
stupid ranger on the hill that I was trying to kill. Man.
Yeah. So that's been. I think there's a. It's hard to choose. I look forward to thinking about this for next year as we're going through releasing. Hopefully 26 next year, which is kind of wild that we did the first 10 weeks of releasing them. We did one a week.
So it would be an interesting one to poll on the Discord. Actually, favorite battle report episode.
Yeah. Speaking of the Discord, if you want to join our community, we do have a Discord server. There's a link in the description of this episode. Chat with people, have a good time.
Yeah, great group.
Every few weeks, we put a thing up asking for pictures of your models to be featured on the podcast. So, if that sounds like something you're interested in, then go ahead and join.
Yeah, I'm behind on the list. People have submitted things. We gotta talk about them, show them off to the world.
Yeah, so yeah, a good year, a good fun year for Gondor Calls for Ale. Of course, on top of that, we continued with the half pints, getting at least one of those out a month on Patreon. We still need to get one out for December. That should be releasing sometime before the new year, obviously in December. I'm not quite sure when. Holiday season's messed up my schedule and whatnot, so. But yeah, we have managed to keep that going, and overall, I think it's been. I think it's probably been the best year of Gondor Calls for Ale yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
All right, moving on, Ben. We've rambled
on home
successfully for 36 minutes now, and we can probably finish off strong with some hobby resolutions.
Oh dear.
Do we want
them? All right. I assume you are prepared, and you've compiled a list of our resolutions from last year. If not, I know you texted them to me. I can find them.
I am prepared, Ben.
Good man. I knew I could count on you.
My notes. All right. Here we go. So, how do we want to do this? Do we want to go back and forth? Do we want to go all through?
Let's go through all through mine, and then we'll go all through yours, and then we'll do some new ones. How's that?
All right, sounds good. So, Ben's 2025 hobby resolutions. Your first one, Ben, was all of dismounts painted. Paint all your dismounts.
No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. But I didn't add any new unpainted dismounts. Like, I haven't finished a mounted guy and not painted the dismount to go with it.
Okay.
I painted Bog and painted his dismount. In fact, I painted the dismount first, Sam. So there.
Wise. A wise choice.
Yeah.
All right, so. No for the first one. Your second was paint both an evil and a good army.
I started painting a good army, but I don't think it's fair to say that I finished painting a good army. So, no.
What good army did you start painting?
Army of Edoras.
Sure. You, of course, painted a Hill Tribes army. So definitely got a evil army done there.
Yep.
2 for 2. In the negatives category, Ben, this is it. I feel it. You're going to
strike out.
Turn it around here. Build and paint a piece of terrain.
No, I'm actually really disappointed I didn't get that done. I was talking for ages there about doing one of those Hill Tribes houses out of the new War of the Rohan book, and just didn't get my shit together. Didn't do it. I bought the supplies for it. They're sitting on my hobby bench. Elmer's glue and wet wipes and a big pile of popsicle sticks or bamboo skewers, but alas, I haven't done any of my hobby goals, which is terrible.
Well, you also have a couple of Rohan houses to
That's
do,
true.
Right?
Got a couple of Rohan houses to work through for my starter set.
All right, play more games with Sam.
Yes, it did that. We played lots of games. We played so many. I think we played more games this year than we have in all the years combined.
Long time. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, success. First one done. More Patreon things.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Not really, I don't think.
No. Sorry, guys.
Attend more events / play more games.
I think I did manage to do that, actually. Mostly in a spree of games at the end of the year here in Canada. But I think I was doing a decent job before that, despite our lack of events.
Yeah, I mean, you had some fairly consistent, even just meeting up with people when you were towards the in the spring and stuff in Maine and playing games there.
Yeah, I did the slow grow. In fact, I was the only person to show up for the final event of the slow grow, aside from the
Yeah.
event organizers. So won it by
And
default.
then obviously, obviously we've played a lot of games this year. I'm trying to
You
think.
said you released 21 battle reports, plus there was
think
one
it's
that we
21.
tested and haven't and will not release because it's not worth releasing. There's 22
And
plus
then
all
there
the
were
ones we've just done.
well, I'm checking. Well, I was trying to check how many we've actually released, but my internet's being shitty.
It's got to be
Yeah,
pushing 30 games we've played though.
we've released 21. As you said, there was the one we did our original test, which that was 22.
Oh, and then we
Then
did another test with the 3 trolls.
Oh, that's true. So 23. We filmed 2 that we filmed at least one more we haven't released.
But it was 2. But maybe it's been released since that second one's already been released.
So 21, 22 that we haven't released. We'll say 23 for the 3 trolls and Gandalf that we didn't even film, that we just played for fun. 24 for the one that's going to release next week. 28 thus far, at least.
Yeah, 28 thus far at least this year. I'm hoping to get at least another 2.
Yeah.
30 games, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Host a GCA event, a Gondor Calls for Ale event.
No, but that would be cool.
Yeah.
I don't think we're not quite ready, but
Yeah, we're getting close. As much as anything, it's finding a time that works for both of us to be in the same location, finding a space, and getting like the tables done. And I, of course, don't want to do just a generic tournament. I want to do, the Corsair tournament or something.
You were just talking about the Caves of Shelob. I now want to do an event where every single board is a network of tunnels. Did you want to move left or right? No, you got to go up and down. You go through the maze.
Not even go through them. Yeah, not even just not levels necessarily. I think.
Yeah. Just like it's if you want to move to the right, you've got to go up and get to the connecting corridor or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
You just probably keep it pretty small, 250, 300 points, something like that.
Yeah,
maybe 500. I don't know. It'd be interesting to play around with that on a board and then do an event where they were just all sewers or Shelob's Lair or whatever.
Yeah, I think that would be super cool. And you obviously have to restrict some amount of stuff because of just base sizes. Oh, it's like, I guess you can bring a 80 mil base troll, but if it doesn't fit through anywhere, then you're a little bit.
No flyers, obviously. You can't fly in the tunnels.
Yeah, no flyers. I don't know. Horses might be a tough.
The build a pony wasn't allowed in the mines, so.
It's true, but he would have gone, even though it's no place for a pony. All right, Ben, your last hobby resolution was sponsor more best themes.
I think we just did the one, didn't we?
Yeah, so I think it's about the same.
Yeah, about the same.
Well, not the best year for Ben's resolution checklist, but you got some.
No. But fairly classic for me. I like to set myself difficult goals and then not achieve them. So, on brand.
Time to see if I have achieved more resolutions.
I would bet that you have.
I don't know. We'll see. It's not going to start off well because the first one was finish Osgiliath terrain, which I painted 2 buildings and did not do any more. It's mostly the building of it that's like a pain in the butt. The painting, I'm like, that's fine. If somebody else wants to build them all, cool, I'll paint them. So didn't finish any Osgiliath. Well, didn't finish the board's worth of Osgiliath terrain though. I'm not sure if I actually specified that. I'm sure I did specify finish a board. Win a Golden Demon. Alas, still unsuccessful for yet another year. Not much.
Yeah, I mean, not to dwell on it too much, but a little disappointing, if we're honest. From not that we understand that judging art is all hearsay and superstition anyway, but definitely a little bit confusing to look at some of the entries that beat you out and be like, huh?
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah, I got a note or a finalist. I can't remember what the new structure is, which was cool. So I did have one of my models featured on the Warhammer community. which is the second one I've had, so that was super cool. I was mainly disappointed with how Helm did. I was really pleased with that, and I thought he was like the best piece I submitted, and he did the worst. And it was a weak category. Like, I think there were only...
That's mostly what I was talking about. Like the Lord of the Rings category, it felt a little bit like, what?
Yeah, there were some other ones that got the same level that I was just like, sure, man. But, you know, it is what it is. It was fun to do.
And all that.
Yeah.
Beauty is in the eye of the beer holder.
Yeah. All right, so not doing great for me either. Play more pickup games / events. I'm going to give myself a pass on that. Mostly for all the games that we played while filming. I played some pickup games for a while. We did a slow growth thing at my local GW. I played a good number there. I probably played in a lot less events this year than last year. But played in a good number in the beginning. Took a bit off in the middle and played in a couple towards the end. But I'm going to give myself a pass. So
fair.
I guess if we're giving that we are the ones setting these goals for ourselves and we are the ones, it's as much as anything, it's to achieve a thing. I achieved what I set out in that goal, which was to play more games that were not so I'm saying achieved. More Patreon stuff as well. No, I'm pleased that we at least have managed to be consistent with the half pints. I wish I was more of a writer. I would love to do sort of like articles and stuff, but that's just not where my strengths lie, alas. Give me a thing I can talk into and I'll never shut up, but if I have to write about it, it's definitely a lot more work. So no, alas no. But again, we do appreciate you.
We do. We really do. You guys are the best.
Play more narrative armies. Absolutely. Definitely both in the battle reports and just, I think the nature of this edition is they're all a bit more narrative.
Yeah. You even made your own narrative. Glob has been on a journey.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. And less of the it's Saruman, Lurtz, and Mahur, you know.
Right. At that one time that they all went out to dinner together.
Yeah. To burn the Westfold, I think. And here we go. Here's a big one, Ben, that I think was successful. Start doing YouTube battle reports.
Nailed it.
Absolutely. Started off with a bang. So great there. Definitely got that one. And do more hobby videos, both tutorials and vlogs. I didn't do any.
Couple.
I don't think I did. I think they were all at the end of last year.
Okay.
It's kind of no. I did at least one with painting the new Warriors of Rohan and the Flaming Brands. So yeah, I did a couple, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah,
not more unless if more was to do more than you did last year, then no. But if it was just to continue doing them,
yeah. So priorities change, I think, is the most important thing to say about any of these things.
Yep.
You're excited about something and that fades away and you do other stuff and put time and energy. And like I said, we both have full-time jobs and families and all that. And it does make it hard to meet all of these goals. I can only spend so much time trapped in a basement or hiding in a basement painting.
Yeah, you're not trapped. You're there by choice.
That's true, yeah. I wish I was trapped. Then I would have no choice. But yeah, so a certainly successful year between the two of us for our resolutions, I think.
Yeah.
Hopefully more successful next year. All right, Ben, we're going to bounce back and forth. I guess you have yours written down, so you're going to have to text them to me afterwards so I can save them so that next year I don't have to listen back to an old episode. But do you want to start us off? Give us your first resolution for the year.
I'm going to have a resolution that I probably won't get done because I'll get distracted doing other things, but I think it's a good goal to have, and I want to finish the armies that I've started. I want to get them all to a point where I feel like this army is finished. Like my hill traps right there, tabletop ready, I can play with them. I don't think they're finished. I want to keep working on them. I want to paint all the eyeballs on all my little hill traps. I want to get all the bases done. I want to get all the dismounts to my Rohan done. I want to finish all my armies. It's a good goal to have, although I think I'm much more likely to get distracted doing new projects and not finishing those. but getting them tabletop ready and snowballing, and then just having this backlog of mostly finished armies.
Sure, yeah.
All right, what about you?
I have finished a table's worth of terrain, either Osgiliath or Dol Guldur. So I guess for me this is, I did, well, I guess we've sort of done a couple of, I did do a full table's worth of terrain, I guess, this year with the snow table, but that was mostly like big 3D printed things and some little MDF ruins I already had, so it was sort of an update, and it was, it was all already built. So I think this is a sort of like, get one that's I have to build and paint the ruin or whatever it is. So, but finish the table's worth of terrain for me.
Nice. I want to paint 2 armies and get them finished this year. Good army, evil army. Don't care which. Not gonna put myself in the box of good and evil because I might just get excited by one. But I want to been enjoying getting into the hobbying more in the past year. I've got moved into a house. I've got my paint table set up. I'm running thin on excuses, Sam, but also been really enjoying myself. So I want to get 2 armies done.
All right, I like it. Do you have a sense of? Are we talking? You've got an event that's a 50-point event coming up. Is 50 points
count 50 points, but I think 500 points or more is an army.
Sure.
I think 350 points is a good beginning.
That's actually very funny and also unplanned because my next goal is to paint 2 new armies to film battle reports with.
Nice.
So,
very good.
There we have it. So I guess I look at the difference of this of being not. This is my one like tournament ready list. I'm playing a 750-point tournament. This is the competitive list I've written. This is paint enough Lothlorien to be able to play 650, 700, 750 points, and it
have a little variety. The same list over and over again.
Yeah, well, right, and then not just be like, it's 10 Guard of the Galadriel Court and this, that, and that. It's like, cool, I painted 2 boxes of Galadriel Warriors, a box of Knights, a couple characters, and, a few other odds and ends. Cool, that's an army.
Yeah, nice.
So there we go. What's next up for you and your resolution?
I want to start making display boards for my armies. There's as many of you may know, I've joined the Ontario Strategy Battle Game League when I moved to Ontario, and like all leagues, you get points for winning games and stuff, and that's all very good and very exciting, and I'm having a great time competing and getting recognition for victories and all that. That's great. But more exciting for me is the hobby side of the league. I think it's very cool, and it's now been sort of reframed in the same vein as like, this is an 80-point league event, and if you win the hobby, you get 80 hobby points. So this is a 100-point league event with 30 people. You win the hobby goal there at that league event, you get 100 hobby points. It's interesting to be able to like sort of quantify the hobby in the sense of like, and they do. I think at the last event I went to, the TO made it clear like, yes, you should vote for the army that's the best painted, but like if the best painted guy doesn't have a display board and someone else like painted 60 Hillman and made a display board, then you should, even though it's not as well painted, it's not like as well executed perhaps, but they represent more time and more effort put into their hobby, so rewarding all aspects of the hobby. So I want to get into making display boards for my hobby. I think it's cool. Yeah.
Very cool. I like it.
What about you, Sam? You got another one?
I sure do. I want to try doing some hobby videos or vlogs using our camera that we use for filming rather than just my phone. See if there are some features of that camera that I think might make it a little easier, and it's going to be better quality for sure than just my phone camera. So I want to try and bring something new or something different to our YouTube channel rather than just podcasts and battle reports.
Yes.
One of my favorite YouTube channels of all time, Rogue Element Gaming. If you like Old World or 6th Edition Fantasy, it's probably the best YouTube channel there is. But he does his Let's Hobby things where he talks about like, look, I painted this thing for this army and I painted this thing for this army. So it sort of documents his hobby journey for a wide variety of armies, which is something I think would be really cool, especially when, I'm like, oh man, I just painted, I just painted another orc banner with an Eye of Sauron on rather than a Arnor thing, and I painted a catapult troll and 5 Galadrim knights. You can sort of show it all off in one chunk, and sort of give a reason to grow the armies and stuff as well. So, as well as I think doing some tutorials, because I always enjoy a good tutorial, and I don't know that I have anything new or particularly interesting to share, but I certainly have done a fair amount of painting in my time. So,
Yeah, it's always good to get someone else's opinion.
Yeah. Anything more from you, Ben?
Yeah, I think on the vein of going to more events, I don't think I'm going to go to more events, but I think I would like. I was just thinking about this, like balancing the Lord of the Rings events with my regular life. How many events can I get away with going to? Because as we mentioned earlier in this episode, I've so far not missed an event for the season in Canada. I don't think that is sustainable. I think I'll be putting too much of my personal life on one side, but I think averaging 1.5 events a month over the year is very doable. So I think I'm set myself.
So go for like 18 in a year is kind of the
yeah.
Cool.
Pretty doable. I mean, I've already done. I guess this will be in the coming year, but in this past year, I've already gone to 4. So in like a month, I think it may have even been 5. In one every single weekend for 5 weekends or something like that.
Yeah, cool. For my next one, I would love to hit 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think it's achievable if we just keep how we're going. It might be a bit of. I think it's a stretch. If we keep growing how we've been growing, I think it will be a stretch. I think we'll be close to it by next year, but you never know. In theory, I guess the more, because of the way YouTube works, the more people watch and subscribe, the more YouTube will push it to more people. So
snowball.
As we grow, it should continue to grow faster. But I think I'm a big fan of weird milestones and just weird metrics and stuff, and that would be super cool.
All right, I think I got one more on my list, Sam. And it's sort of on the vein of you just mentioned, and that's I think I would like to get us another camera so that I too can do some extra video content for the channel. Not quite sure what that would look like. If it's just me doing a hobby blog, like, hey, this is my display board that I'm working on at the moment, or like this is what I'm painting. Little shorts on YouTube. Something. I think it'd be neat to get a second camera, and if we got it in the Gondor Calls for our budget after Adepticon and all that. Actually, I have another one I just thought of. But anyway, I think that's a big one.
Cool. Very cool. Well, if you want to help Ben achieve a hobby goal, then consider joining our Patreon. Look at that. This has been a very ad-heavy video. Speaking of ad-heavy, Ben, I do think it's worth noting, maybe not, maybe people don't care, but we could enable ads on YouTube now. We have enough. We meet all of YouTube's requirements, and we have decided not to. Or I've decided not to, because clearly this is news to Ben. But we did have a conversation about it, because I don't think that it's really worth it, and I want people to be able to continue enjoying our videos without having to listen to the same Christmas ads 3 times in a row. That being said, it would be some amount of money to go towards the channel. So, just another, once again, if you want to keep it ad-free for everyone else, consider Patreon. There we go. For my next one, Ben, I want to continue releasing podcasts and battle reports every other week.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great goal.
So, we have yet to miss a podcast since we've been doing this. The battle reports is going to be a little more work. It requires us both being in the same place to film them, and we live a fair distance away. But we've been pretty good about it. We've got a plan. We're going to keep going with that plan, but that is certainly a goal that I have.
Yeah, I think that's a good goal. I'm going to, without adding too many of these, I'm just going to jump on that as a goal as well.
Sure.
But my next big, exciting goal, I think, Sam, is to find an event. Sam and I planned this very fun, very thematic doubles army that we were going to play at Adepticon. It was going to have this epic display board that dispensed beer. It was going to be really, really cool. And then we discovered that the points value for Adepticon worked out really, really badly for this doubles army that we were planning. So I want to find an event that is cool enough for us to make a beer dispensing display board to take for doubles.
Very good. Very good. I have 2 more, Ben. So
all right.
for my next one, I have Find the Joy of Events again. As
that's
you
good.
probably heard at the beginning of this, I'm a little disenchanted with all of that. And partially, I say I blame other people for how busted or not or how imbalanced the game can feel. But I certainly also blame myself for not having as much fun at events as I previously did. I think some of it is, changes in, or basically some of it is, a lot of it's personality, a lot of it is you taste glory one time, it's the strive to that again, and just try and find the fun in events and try and find the fun in losing, and not really the continued journey that my life has been of letting it not bother me. So,
nice. That's a good healthy goal. I think I'm out of goals, out of resolutions, Sam. So hit me with your last one.
My very last one, Ben. My last resolution for 2026 is bring something new to the channel. Perhaps some foreshadowing, something exciting to come. Who's to say? I want to expand the repertoire of Gondor Calls for Ale.
That's exciting. I think I know of what you. I know of what you speak.
So there we go. 2026, all planned out already. Expect great things or a complete failure again. Who's to say?
Complete failure, but still great. Like, we completely failed last year's resolutions, but we all prior to that said that it was the best year ever for the channel. So great things either way.
Gondor Calls for Ale's resolutions succeeded. Ben and Sam Gallagher's resolutions, not so much.
Not too much.
All right, Ben. Well, we have once again proven that if you let me talk about a topic, it'll be a long episode because we've just hit the hour mark. So
I know, I'm blown away. How do we do it?
So I think unless there's anything else you want to say, I think it's time to wrap up the final, the 95th, not for the year, but 95th episode of Gondor Calls for Ale, the final episode of 2025. Is there anything you want to say before we close out?
No, I don't think so. Just, thanks again to our community. We really, really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you're listening to this when it releases, we hope you've had a wonderful holiday season. Continue having a nice holiday season and have a fantastic Happy New Year.
Yeah, we'll see you in the new year.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back in 2 short weeks in 2026. Thank you for listening to Gondor Calls for Ale. We hope you have enjoyed this episode. We, at Gondor Calls for Ale, are officially sponsored by the Baron of Dice, the producer of premium wargaming dice. These beautifully hand-swirled resin dice have no micro bubbles and are therefore perfectly balanced. With over 3,000 variants and unique designs, nearly every tabletop gaming system is represented. So check out the description of this episode for a link and a discount code. Go buy yourself some new dice and let the good times roll. We at Gondor Calls for Ale are not associated with Games Workshop, New Line Cinema, or the Tolkien Estate. We hope we have not misrepresented or offended anyone. These recordings are strictly recollections of games we've played and are not commentaries on the character or competence of our opponents. They are intended purely for entertainment, and we hope they will be taken as such. You can find us on Patreon, see the link in the description. Supporting Gondor Calls for Ale there helps us continue to produce these episodes. You can find us on Instagram at Gondor_calls_for_ale. Feel free to send us a message there. Or on Facebook as Gondor Calls for Ale, another great place to send us a message. Or you can send us an email at gondorcallsforale@gmail.com. As Boromir, Captain of the White Tower, once said, remember today, listener, today this episode was good.